All right, guys. We just got through watching the live stream from Chris Roberts and CIG. It was a lot longer than I expected. It was a 2 hour live stream. I thought it was only going to be like an hour and a half, actually. But what did I just press? Come on, get this keyboard out of my way. All right, so, and I appreciate you guys jumping into the chat here right now. Well, it doesn't look like any of the guys that I invited are going to be available to participate in this discussion because I had my um, Skype open and none of them jumped in. Now maybe they were, because this is kind of late. This is for us. This is like 11 p.m. for me. So, but I want to go ahead and I just want to give you a recap. I'm only going to take about 30 minutes, maybe at the most. Recap. If you had missed that live stream, you want to go back and watch it because there was a lot of cool things that were revealed. A lot of stuff was revealed. Uh, and well, let's just go over it. Now I have a keen eye for observation, and I took took a lot of what was being said, and I kind of read between the lines. So if I didn't get this exactly the way you might have gotten it, then I'm sorry, but this is my opinion. So first of all, they were going to have 10 ships that they gave away, or they did give away 10 ships as in the crowd. They gave them in their to go box or whatever, which well, I guess they call that a swag bag. And then you get to take that code, I guess, entered on the website, and you get a free ship, which is pretty cool. And one of the guys actually won the new ATI video card. It was like a dual video card. So I think I'm not really sure exactly. I didn't catch the model. I didn't write it down, but I'm sure it's probably top of the line. Okay, and then they did a long video recap at the very beginning. You could probably skip past the first 15 minutes if you've been following Star Citizen uh, since the beginning. You don't need to watch that because all that is like what's been going on for the last 2 years. So just skip past for about 15 minutes, maybe even 17 or 18 minutes, and then it starts getting into what's getting ready to happen. And Santa Monica, they were talking about. Yeah, I think that's exactly what it is, Mr. Yeah. Um, okay, but from Santa Monica, uh, Sandy did most of the talking for Santa Monica, and she said that in the coming year they're going to have some esports competitions. That's pretty cool. But what exactly are we talking about? I mean, it's still Arena Commander, so everything's still kind of. You can have an esports competition with a game that's not really fully finished. It's kind of like pre-alpha esports. They're supposed to be releasing multi-crew ships this year, and also Squadron 42 Chapter 1. So they're also overseeing the FPS, which kind of uh, it opened my eyes a little bit. They're not, as you know, Ilphonic's doing the FPS, and they're redacted, but it's Ilphonic, and so what they're saying is that Santa Monica is basically doing the QA probably for the FPS. Like Ilphonic's making it, but Santa Monica's making sure that it's up to standards for Chris Roberts. And I think that's good. Then they talked about Manchester, and I got a long list of stuff that Manchester's doing and what they're planning. Um, oh, they showed the Arkham site, which is a Shubin mining. Shubin is the company that owns the Arkham site or made the Arkham site. Shubin's the manufacturer of the facility. It's not the name of the facility. Arkham is the name of the facility, and they showed quite a bit of that. They flew around it, walked inside. Manchester's also working on the AI and they explained a little bit about how they do that with smart objects. So the AI can interact with the smart objects and perform duties that they should actually perform with those objects. They said they're working on the lobby system, and which is going to come out with version 1, which is supposed to come out before the end of the year. version 1 Arena Commander. Um, they're very soon you're going to see the maps double in size, and that's even before they go to double precision. They're doubling the size because they feel that they have the capability to do that now with the single precision. But when the double precision comes out, they're going to go ahead and maybe even exponentially grow those maps. Uh, they expect to have double precision in the next couple of months, and to me that means before the end of the year. They're gonna add a few race maps, or they're gonna make changes to the race maps. My guess is that they're gonna plug up the holes that people are flying through to cut corners. I think they're gonna plug those up, or uh, well, I've seen people fly through the corners and fly through certain holes that their ships normally would not be able to fit through. So that's normally they're not having any collisions with those buildings. So I think that all they need to do is just make everything solid, and it would be impossible for people to take those shortcuts. Um, they're also working on different missiles and different missile mechanics. So different ways to lock and also different countermeasures. I think that's pretty cool with the, like now your flare and your chaff will matter. It won't just need to be flare, and it won't just be radar locked or heat seeker locked, but they might have identification locks, or hopefully not walleyes where you got to guide them in. Okay. Um, he did say that we're going to have new weapons. Well, a lot of the weapons we voted on. What else? Oh, they're going to improve the spectator mode so that if you were to die, or maybe if you just have a friend that wants to come in and watch, I think they're going to allow that, because with the lobby system, I guess you could do that. They're also going to work on emissions so that you can actually turn your ship's engines off, or systems on your ship off, like maybe shields or something like that, which would reduce your radar emission signature so that you could actually hide or be more stealthful, you know. And right in line with that, they showed a Cutlass commercial. And on that Cutlass commercial, there was a Vandal who was pretty um, animated, so you could actually kind of see a Vandal piloting his Vandal craft, which I thought was like the first time we actually got to see a Vandal other than just walking forward and striding forward, I should say. The Vandal became a more of a real entity inside the game. I thought that was the first incident or instance that I got the chance to see the Vandal, and that's pretty cool. You got to check that video out. And then the pilot on that of the Cutlass at the very end winds up being a female avatar, which was modeled by Sandy, but the motion captured by Sandy, but the short hair and the helmet and the suit and everything, I think it's a pretty good female avatar actually. Um, which they released a bunch of Cutlass variants, and if you missed your opportunity to pick up some Cutlass variants, you have 3 hours, I think. You have three or less, just under 3 hours at midnight Pacific time. You should look at those Cutlasses. They're going to go back on sale because I think they might have already been sold out. Or was it the Cutlasses that are going to be sold out? No, it was the 890 Jump that was sold out. They're going to put those back on sale. Okay, what else? Okay, that was it pretty much from Manchester. And then you got the Montreal. I didn't realize we had two departments in Montreal. Whenever they said Turbulent or Behavior, for some reason in my mind, I was always thinking it was the same department or same team. But no, they are two separate teams in Montreal. And Turbulent is really only focusing on the website and the way the players interact with the game through the website. They're planning on Org Drop 2 that should be coming out soon, which is going to allow lobbies and friend lists. And they're also working on the star map because most people voted for a star map. And I don't know. And if you watched any of my other previous shows, you would have heard me complain about why did we vote for a damn star map when there's already 2 of them out there in the world. Okay. Okay, we should have voted for something more substantial. Now, Behavior is actually working on the Planet module, and we get to see some of that at the end of the show. But they're working on the Planet module. They're also working on the Moby Glass, where they're creating a whole new browser for you to be able to use through your Moby Glass, which I think is really cool. And they've actually are the ones that designed the 890 jump, which apparently, it's still in the concept phase of what it looks like to me. Then they moved on to Austin. I'm trying to speed along so you guys can, get caught up. But Austin is pretty much working on the persistent universe, and that's really what their main focus is. And then they demoed, or yeah, Sean Tracy demoed a Planetside module where he would, and also it's a prototype, but he was in a multi-crewed ship in space, walking around, flying around while he was walking around, and then got back into the cockpit, into the pilot seat, and requested landing permission on the planet of Arcor, which is in Stanton. And he flew in, landed, got out of the ship, went through a checkpoint, got into like a town square or something like that where there was a bunch of shops, and kind of showed us what it might feel like to fly into a new planet, land, get out, and have to go to a shop. I thought that was really cool. Oh, right. Yeah. To Jeff, you were exactly right. It did look kind of comical, but the Vandal did look kind of comical. But it was a commercial, and the commercial was made by a human, right? For the Cutlass. So of course they're gonna make the Vandal look like Powder Puff. They're gonna make him look easy to kill or whatever. This wasn't. It wasn't a Vandal commercial. If it was a Vandal commercial, they would have been like buff and badass, right? But but it was a Cutlass commercial, so they made the Cutlass look badass. Even though I personally don't necessarily think it is, but that's okay. Okay. The then he went over a roadmap. Well, his roadmap was kind of pretty vague, which is okay. But he said he's going to have version 1 by the end of the year. He's going to have in 2015 the FPS module is going to be out. We're going to be able to experience multiple maps for the FPS. He also said the Planetside, the social module will come out. Arena Commander 2.0 with multi-crewed ships will be out. Squadron 42 Chapter 1, which is 10 missions, will be out. And the Persistent Universe Alpha will be out. Now, 2015, that's a whole year. A whole year plus 2 more months. So that's a lot of time to get a limited amount of things out. I think there's going to be a lot more that he just glazed over and didn't really talk about. Okay. So the Vandals should sue Drake because they're ruining their image. No, okay. Um, yeah. Also they said one of the very last things that they showed on the slides was that they already have 50 ships modeled. To me, that I know that's only a small chunk of the total number of ships that are going to be in the game, but 50 ships right now. I mean, we don't have the opportunity to own or play, or we haven't even heard about more than maybe 20 ships, 25 ships, even if you count all the variants, or from Constellation with all their variants, and the Cutlass with all their variants, the Avenger with all, and the Freelancer with all their variants, and all the variants. We still are sitting at what, 25 maybe? I'm going to extend that number, maybe 30. So that means that there's about 20 ships out there that they're working on. They've got people actively working on modeling that we don't know anything about. Yeah, I understand that we've got the destroyer. We also have the Bengal class cruiser. We probably have the battle cruiser that they've talked about. We probably have trying to think of some other ships that we haven't even really heard about or seen. You know, some of the cap ships. Oh, all the Vandal capture. You know, unusual ships. Yeah, they haven't. I'm sorry, we haven't really showed us any of those because that's kind of keeping that tight. Yeah, and that's probably where the other 50 are coming from. Even though they are planning on having thousands of ships in the game, not all of them are going to be player ownable or purchasable. You know, because there'll be a military ship or something, or there'll be um, you know, like corporate owned ship that players don't actually own. That's a It's a possibility. Those type, you know, nothing saying that I can't get my whole organization to go board that ship, but then that doesn't mean I'm going to be able to keep it as part of a bounty or booty or whatever. Yeah, there's some more Vandal ships, exactly. Um, like the Harvester and the Bomber and of course their carrier, which is bigger than the Vandal class. And that was pretty much the show. And so I'm glad I was able to like give you guys a heads up, um, and you know, kind of give you any if you if you had missed the show. What I was really hoping for tonight's show was to have some people on with me, and we would do some kind of rebuttal and communication and kind of like give our thoughts and opinions. Well, okay, now having said this, what's been on the show, let me give you my thoughts. They filled up too much time with old stuff, in my opinion. I think they could have said we they could have been a lot faster on the this is what we've done part. Uh, Even on each of the different departments had their own video, and their own video took up more than half of their video saying what we had done. And I think that I mean I got an itchy my nose is itching. Sorry guys. I think that they could have cut all that out as and could have condensed that to like 5 or 10 minutes, and then they could have said what they're doing and what's about to come out, and that would have cut like 30 minutes to a half an hour to an hour off the show. They did show a lot of video of uh, programs and projects that they're working on. They gave a lot of insight on what they're doing. What was really impressive was the Cutlass commercial. I really was excited about the Cutlass commercial. I thought that was pretty cool. Um, the way they kind of like the the Cutlass pilot kind of turned off her systems, and let the Vandal come flying by, and then the Cutlass jumped out, and then at the end, the Cutlass was doing the old Maverick flyby thing with the cockpits together, and then they ripped off the Guardians of the Galaxy, you know, the finger coming up with the hand crank. Yeah, which I thought was, you know, it's funny, but it was kind of a rip off. Um, and then they went to the last video that I thought was really exciting was the Planetside video where they showed how they landed and got out. It was pretty exciting. Um, the whole landing sequence with turning it over to a like the planet's automated pilot and stuff to land your ship, which is kind of cool. I like that idea, but I don't necessarily like the way it transitioned from not from space to atmosphere. I thought that was fine, you know, but and this might only be specific to this world, but having to kind of fly through the buildings to get to the landing spot, I don't think any realistic landing spaceport would be set up like that. I think they would be completely on the surface. All the pads would be on the surface of, even though the planet's completely buildings, you're not going to fly down inside. Not like what's that show? Um, Futurama. You know, when they have to fly in through the buildings and stuff to land. I don't think that a realistic spacefaring society would do that. They would have their ships either way out somewhere, and land them because hell, it's a spaceport. It's dangerous. Or if it's a completely enclosed city like that was, the landing there would be larger areas where the ships could fly into and land, or they would be completely on the surface. But that's just my thoughts. That's just my opinions on that. But it was really cool coming in, landing, was able to get out. They lowered the cargo. What I really found pretty exciting about that was they had a lot of NPCs walking around doing things, or not doing things, but they were kind of walking around and just kind of giving life to the spaceport. And I can see that when they and I understand this is only like pre demo, that they just wanted to throw something together to kind of show us. Uh, the two guys that walked up to the ship kind of looked like these guys were going to be to help him unload his cargo, but they just stood there. But that's okay. But you get the impression that they were going to come up and say, they were going to help him unload the cargo or something. Yeah, Joshua, definitely recommend going back and watching, or you can probably wait because what they'll probably do is take each of these videos and upload them separately, just so you can watch them. Uh, because in between the videos, it was kind of like there wasn't a whole lot of information put out, in my opinion. Um, yeah, we different missile mechanics that's already been put out, and new weapons we already know. Pretty much all of this we already know. But the only thing that was kind of new and exciting were the videos. Okay, well that's it. That's all I wanted to do is kind of recap or rehash what they had already said. Did anybody have any questions for me that I might be able to answer uh, based on what I saw? Was there something you were looking for that you didn't get to see? I know Disturbed was so excited he went out and got a Cutlass Blue, which actually I thought the Cutlass Blue was pretty sexy myself, because it's kind of a police variant. I think the hospital ship, that's the Cutlass Red, right? That's the hospital variant. I think our unit needs one of those, you know, or maybe maybe I need an 890 jump because, I'm just gonna kick back with my bitches. No, I don't know. Isn't that what the 890 jump is? Isn't the 890 jump like the luxury yacht? Oh, okay. Well, that's understandable if you don't. Okay, so you played Arena Commander. Okay. Yeah, the red one was a hospital variant. Okay. I think it's more like an ambulance because it's kind of small. I mean, the Cutlass is only like a two-person ship, and it has a very small cargo area. I think it would be very, very good as an ambulance. Um, I think they already have a hospital ship like in the works. So, uh, but yeah. Um, Well, Joshua, let me tell you, just to kind of give you a heads up. Now, this game is not Arena Commander. Arena Commander is just a very small portion of the game. It's more, um, it's just a tool, really, for the development staff to work out the bugs in the combat systems. So you're going to have a first person module drop, where you can run around in spaceports and use your rifles. You're going to have um, a social module where you'll be able to go to stores and buy stuff and stuff like that. And then you're going to have the dogfighting module, which they nicknamed Arena Commander, but it's really the dogfighting module where you get to fly around inside of a test bed so you can shoot against other players and against AI. And all of this is to help the developers prepare for the persistent universe, which is basically an MMO sandbox type game where you can go from world to world on your own, pick up missions, and do all that. Hope that helps you answer. Helps, that answers you. I'm kind of excited about the social module. Being watching the NPCs doing their things. I might just spend some time sitting on a park bench just watching the NPCs just to see what they're doing, you know. And then there's what do you call it? And then the first person shooter aspect of it. I think I'm going to get kind of excited about that, especially if the fidelity is the way it looks like it's going to be. Um, Dogfighting is just a small portion of the real world, because there's going to be a lot of merchant activities. There's going to be a lot of espionage and all that stuff. It's not a traditional MMO in the fact that your character doesn't have any levels. you don't level up your character. Um, what you do is you have your avatar that you move around, and he goes on missions and does things, but how well he shoots or how well he flies is based on how well you shoot and how well you fly and what kind of gun you have. So if you buy a bigger gun, you'll probably do better than a guy that has, a smaller gun. But same thing with the ships. If you've got a warship, of course you're going to do better in a fight than if you have a civilian ship. You know, but civilian ships are probably going to be more equipped to carry cargo and make better uh, money runs. Carrying stuff from point A to point B, where that military ship's not. He's just going to be a drain on the economy and not really be able to provide anything. So you just got to weigh the pros and cons. That's why in a lot of different organizations, you'll have, especially our organization, you have a group that are specifically geared towards combat, and then we have another smaller group towards being merchants that will be able to create the funds for the guys that are actually protecting them. So you get like the convoy plus the escorts, that kind of stuff. Yeah, the Squadron 42 is the single player game. There's going to be over 50 missions in Squadron 42, 5 chapters of approximately 10 missions apiece. Uh, you're gonna see one chapter at a time. It looks like they said they're gonna release the first chapter. First chapter is gonna be in 2015, but I expect it's gonna be in like January, February timeframe. You'll get to um, play without your buddies, or they hinted at the fact that you could open it up where they can jump in with you and play co-op, or they can. I have also heard that there's an option where players can jump in and take over the enemy, and like the enemy boss or whatever could actually be a player. But I'm not sure how that would work, and I don't know if they've scrapped that idea. That was a long time ago. I might have chroma key on. Actually, I might, because normally I have a green screen right behind me. That's a good. I'm glad you asked that because yeah, let me go. I'll have to double check that for you. Did that fix it? Because it was on. The reason why I had a chroma key on because normally I have a green screen here and I display other stuff behind me, but I took the green screen down because we had um, an electrician here today that needed to get into the attic. And the attic door is like right there. So I took my green screen down. Okay, what else did I miss? Why not red? Oh no, they've already got a mocap studio. That's already been built. Yeah, unless they needed a place that was large enough, kind of like for a big ship or something. I do. I do. I stream at least 3 times a week. We Monday I do Mech Warrior Online, and Tuesday we do Arena Commander, and Thursday we haven't done it in a couple of weeks now, but on Thursday we do a show called From the Verse, and it's all about Star Citizen. But I also stream other games, and right now I'm going through like 5 different games that I stream, and I stream those at various times of the day, and they're not really on schedule. I'm doing the Banner Saga. I don't know if you've heard of that. Operation Flashpoint, an older first-person shooter, not older, couple years ago. Xenonauts, which is an XCOM spin-off. Space Run, which is basically just an arcade game where you carry cargo and you blow up pirates. And then Inversion, which is a game that I came across on Steam that I just didn't even know existed. And when I saw it, I just said I had to get it. And I've been playing Inversion. And what I do is like maybe on a maybe on a Tuesday night, I might. Well, no. When do I do it? It just depends. Like I'll stream it, and then anything that I stream, I also upload to YouTube. So you can go to the YouTube channel and actually see all my old streams and just games that I've edited down to, YouTube bits. Okay, well, we've been on here for over 30 minutes, and I just wanted to kind of do a recap of the what we saw on CitizenCon. And if you have any other questions or comments, you can always drop me a message. You can also find me on our engine site. Oh, yeah, you can just type in Mr. Everything if you want, or you can type in this. That should get to me. I think I've changed it so many times, but I make it so you can search for me using Mr. Everything. But I think my actual channel name is Akoto Derek. I have a lot of airsoft videos on there too from a couple of years ago when I used to be heavy into airsoft. Kind of slowed off on that. I do a lot of miniature gaming too. We've kind of slowed off on that too. Kind of waiting for Robotech to come out. Okay, guys. Well, I hate to cut it off short, but I need to because I'm actually working the opening shift tomorrow. So you guys have a good night, and please subscribe or check me out on YouTube and watch some videos, like them, and I'll catch you in the verse.